Okay, so what is important to study Japanese is consistency, so consistent actions, and something that you need to do with diligence and regular action, because actually learning Japanese is challenging. It's honestly, I cannot say, I cannot give a pill to be able to speak Japanese like just for like one day is not enough to study this language. It's so rich. I will later explain why is it challenging. Um, so actually, yeah, you need efforts. So there's no magic pill that will make you speak Japanese, but your daily efforts can make you speak Japanese well. And okay, so this is here you may see how Japanese looks like. So here we see some piece of the text, of Japanese text. And maybe you already can see that difference. For example, if you see here, you can see these are kanji. These are here hieroglyphs. And other more, how to say, more easy to write are kana. So this kana actually making Japanese study easier. And visually, Japanese is much easier than maybe Chinese, as for my opinion. Of course, it's the opinion of Japanese teacher. And for myself, it's easier. For myself, it's easier to see such text and to read it, because studying kana, so studying these two types of alphabet, and I will show you. So here you can see, for example, if you see mild lines like here, so it's hiragana. But when you see the lines that are sharp, like here, maybe here, yeah, you see here, sharp lines are katakana. So you see simplified hieroglyphs, and if they have mild and soft lines, they are hiragana. And if they're just sharp lines, so it's katakana. Okay. And kanji, of course, kanji look like Chinese because they have Chinese origin. And moreover, they were spread to Japan by Buddhist monks. So Japanese people were copying Buddhist sutras. That is why they have really rich and history, ancient history. And what's interesting, sometimes Japanese kanji, Japanese hieroglyphs may be even more difficult visually than Chinese, because some of Chinese hieroglyphs were simplified, and some of Japanese, on the opposite, they remained, they preserved their initial writing. Okay, and here you can see, so this is a traditional way to write Japanese text, is vertical, from right to left, and vertical. And yes, this is more, on the left is more for people who study Japanese, but you also may see such texts in magazines, in newspapers. You also may find such text where you can see horizontal texts. So this is also one of the challenging moments, because you just need to get used. For example, if you see this text, yeah, if you see vertical text, and so we start from this point you go here, 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 and then you continue. So it may be, for some people, it may be challenging, but when you study, you get used to it. Okay, and now I'm going to tell you some more challenges. So yeah, the first challenge I was explaining, as I was explaining before, 3 systems of writing: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. So we have 46 symbols of hiragana, 46 symbols of katakana, and we have 2,130, like about 2,130 of kanji. And if to compare to Chinese language, it's much less than in Chinese language. And So what is challenging? Of course, reading text. Reading text in Japanese is challenging because you need to have this foundation to be able to read them. You don't actually need to learn all of the kanji, all of these 2,130, but at least if you know 1,000 of them, it will become easier for you to read the text, for example, even like newspapers, articles, books. Okay, the next challenge is the number of grammatic constructions. So there's actually there are numerous. There is a numerous amount of grammatic constructions in Japanese language, and but they can be grouped in. They have actually there are a lot of synonymous constructions, and learning of these constructions can be challenging. I would say memorizing is challenging, but how to say the logic almost is this. You just need to learn the logic, and the logic is based on the basic Japanese grammar. So you need to make a good foundation to study verbs and adjectives and nouns, and only after that you can go to study more advanced grammar constructions. So usually you need to complete the basic grammar, and only then you come to and you realize that there are so many other grammar constructions. So which, for example, people who apply to N2 or apply to N1, they need to learn a lot of them. Okay, so next challenging thing about Japanese language are levels of politeness, Sonkeigo and Kenjogo. So Sonkeigo and Kenjogo, Sonkeigo is polite to everyone else, and Kenjogo is kind of modest about myself. And there are certainly different levels of politeness, and there is colloquial Japanese, and there is neutral Japanese, and there is polite Japanese and extra polite Japanese, I would say. But why you shouldn't worry is because you don't actually have to be extra polite. You don't have to learn extra polite, everything about extra polite, but you need to know somehow some rules of it and some constructions. But being perfect in it is not required even at work, at Japanese work. Okay, listening skills are also challenging for my students, and speaking skills, because actually, and about myself, I remember how difficult it was to start speaking. First year of learning Japanese was really hard to speak. Second year, hard. And I think fourth year of my study at university, I started to speak more freely after numerous speech contests, after a lot of texts, a lot of retelling the texts. I was more free at speaking. And the next one interesting is difficulty is onomatopoeic expressions, proverbs, and yojijukugo. Because actually Japanese language has a lot of such expressions and they are used on daily basis. And maybe it's not, for example, yojijukugo, if to explain it, it's some proverbs which consist from four kanji. And those happen not so frequently, but onomatopoeic expressions, which kind of imitate some sounds or imitate some sound. For Japanese, it's kind of the sound of the action or the sound of this expression. Okay. So, what is crucial for reading Japanese? Receptive skills. So, recognition of kanji and compounds of kanjis. And you actually don't have to be able to write all the kanji. You don't have to be able to do that. If you will be printing kanji, it's a different skill from writing it by hand. And also, you just need to be able to recognize them. So if you want to just read to understand what is written, you need to be able to recognize the kanji, the hieroglyphs in words and expressions. That means you don't have to actually be able to reproduce the kanjis themselves. And understanding is over the ability to spell, because sometimes you see the kanji and you understand the meaning, but you don't know how to read that. But for example, you read for your own personal your personal aims, personal goals, and actually it's not the test. You can read and understand it, and you can later on search for the spelling or just don't bother. Okay, or bother if you want to study and learn. But actually when I'm able to read books, but I would say I'm not able to read 100%. Of course, for sure, I think 70% of kanji I can read, but some of them new words happen to me. And at times like this, you just see if you need, if without this word you cannot translate in your head the meaning, if you don't understand it at all, then you need to go to the dictionary. But if you somehow understood the meaning and you read for your pleasure, you'll better just skip the word, and then you will understand the text, and it's okay, because I understand that if you just start stopping at each word you don't know, each new word, or the word you forgot how to spell, the word you forgot how to write down, then it will take a long time, and your reading of Japanese book will be like spread out, will be dragged out for 1 year of reading. So just to be able to quickly understand the information, you may do like skipping them. And some of them, if you understand this is something new, I need to understand this is crucial for understanding this text, so you need to search for the meaning. And so how to actually memorize kanji? So there are different ways already existing. So some of the simple kanjis are actually easy to build associations with something. For example, We see first picture is Hitsuji sheep, and we actually can easily build, like associate it with the ship if we write it like this. If you draw the picture of ship, and now you understand this is Hitsuji. And this helps you to memorize kanji. And also, sometimes you may have some, for example, in this case, the second picture, we see that actually the meaning is not the same. The meaning of this element is not the meaning of the nest. But somehow, for the person who was creating this, I would say this is meme or associative card to memorize kanji. For him, this is like the nest, and this is like the stork, right? So he just so you can create your own associations if you are more comfortable with it. And for example, here, like kokoro, heart. So here we had a ship. Here we have the summer, and here we have kokoro. Kokoro is heart, and here just the person decided to just put it on the real heart, right? So it's kokoro. Though shinzo is the word for real, the organ, but here just for association, for memory, he did like this. And next, we can make the story. So it's one of the ways to learn, but especially kanjis that are so kanjis, they can be simple kanjis, like we can see ki, right? So it's usually like it by itself, it's kanji, but from this kanji, we can make other compound kanji, other kanjis, more difficult kanjis. And by this, we create kanjis more difficult. And here we such notions as radical, so parts of kanjis, radical part, key part, and phonetic part appears. Two parts of kanji, but usually they can have even more parts, like you can see here, right? So such cases, we can easily make the story using the parts from which the kanji consists. And for example, here we see that there was one tree, it's ki. When there are two trees, it's hayashi. And when there are three trees, they make the forest. Mori, yeah. So this is one of the ways to study like this. And also I like, for example, this different option because that was from the same kanji. But here we will see that we have kanji kagami, mirror, and it's a kanji which consists from elements like gold, we can see here, stand here, and watch here, or see. And we from these three kanjis, we can make the story, right? And for example, this is the mirror, and we need to make the story about the mirror. So I'm standing, and we use tatsu, like standing, and looking, miru, and looking. Though, by the way, here this element is simplified, so it has only one line, and here it has two lines. And kin, like gold. So at golden mirror. So I'm standing and looking at golden mirror. And this is kagami. Yes, you can make such stories, and they will make it easier to memorize kanjis. Okay, and the next way to study kanji is by grouping them by key, by radical, which is also called key, because this key element allows us to find the kanji of the same group. For example, this is the group, the person radical, hito, right? And we have 100 of kanji, and some people study by radicals. So study the kanjis with the same radical. But I find it a little bit, how to say, if you just start, they are not much connected with each other. But if you want to actually study like this, such applications like Japanese English Dictionary, it's application which can be installed on your phone. It will be useful for searching the kanjis with the same radical. And the same, we are going to talk about phonetic part. So what is phonetic part of? We can see, for example, we take this kanji, and you can see, so in the left, we can see, I'm sorry, not dividing it really good. Okay, just wait a second. Okay, so we can see here to the left, we can see the key. This is the key or radical. The radical is road. Road. And to go, yeah, like to go by road. And to the right, we can see the phonetic. So what does it mean, phonetic? Phonetic gives us the sound. So this part of kanji, usually it's in the right, but sometimes it can be in the in the bottom, so to say, bottom or second half, like below. And yeah, sometimes, for example, in this case, it was to the left. Yeah, so, but usually it's more like to the right side or below. And this part, it gives us the sound. So if we have phonetic say, it gives us the sound say. And so this kanji is say, this kanji is say, this is also say, and this is also say. But just what is to keep in mind, some of kanjis, they are like exceptions. They may have more than one reading. And phonetics, phonetic reading, it works in compounds. If you have compounds of two kanjis, two or more kanji, usually this works. So phonetic reading is working here. And so here we have ko. So each kanji will be ko. So because it has this phonetic, a phonetic part which gives us the sound and the pronunciation. So this is one of the effective ways to study a lot of kanjis and to memorize their reading. And yeah, we see haku. So each one will be haku, 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 haku. But again, in different situation or by themselves, they may have different meaning, different reading. But in combination, they will be haku. Or maybe paku. Sometimes they can have either a paku or maybe, yeah, in certain words. Okay, the next thing is to what is efficient to study kanji is rather than to study them like one kanji, you write it 3 lines of the same kanji. It's better to study the words, the combinations, the phrases, because then you will already know the words, not only like one kanji, but you will learn the words like genki, tenki, kinisuru, and so on. Okay. And well, to develop writing and speaking, so writing essays and presenting them, what is important, you not only you write your essay about maybe your experience or about your life or about some certain topic, but it's really important to present, like to speak, to be able to so to say, present your essay to your teacher, or if you can do it to yourself, you can record the video of you talking, and it will be really helpful. And you can write the diary in Japanese, and you can record the videos of your reels of your diary of your life and do it in Japanese, and it will be really helpful, really interesting, and you will gradually grow because you will need to learn so many words to talk about your daily experiences. Also, translating sentences from your native language to Japanese is also helpful because it helps our mind to be to switch to Japanese language. By translating your sentence in your language to Japanese, you start thinking Japanese because you start uh, trying to make it how it will sound in Japanese, natural in Japanese. Retelling text also is one of really good exercises because, and especially if you listen to the text before you learn it. So you can, if you listen to the text before you learn it, if you check the pronunciation, you will be able to pronounce it easier and in more natural way, in more Japanese way. And okay, and also we can make dialects. Also, we can make dialects when we are together with somebody. But yeah, by yourself it will be difficult. Yeah, but making dialects is because you need to somehow start speaking in the kind of real life situations. That's why it's really helpful. Okay, and to end up, I want to show my journey of textbooks of Japanese, which helped me to achieve N1 level. I will be concise and will try to be not it will so that it will not take so long. Okay, so first of all, legendary Minna no Nihongo. So it was my first textbook, and for many people, it's so. The textbook which becomes our first textbook of Japanese. And what is good about it? It's that it has so many. Different um, additional materials, so additional workbook, additional test materials for studying kanji, and especially what is so important to us is that it has grammar explanation, and it has different languages translated to different languages, and you may find your own language translation, so it will be easier for you to learn the list of words and to learn the grammar explanation in your own language. That is the merit of this textbook. So these are the two parts to explain the grammar, first part and second part. Two parts of just like main textbook, and other parts are just like, for example, these tests and kanji. And this one is really good, but I think overlooked. It's called Kaite Oboeru, and it helps us it helps actually to do more interesting exercises, because in main textbook exercises, they are very typical. They are very similar, and you will get exhausted from doing it from lesson to lesson. But in this part, in Kaite Oboero textbook, you will see a different approach, more interesting exercises, and you will see tables of verbs, adjectives, conjugations. It will be helpful for you to study. Okay, and again, this is for tests. Okay, though I didn't study using this textbook, I was teaching using this one. I used Mina no Nihongo and Genki, but then for one group of my students, I decided to switch completely to Genki. So I understand that was an experiment. They got used to Mina no Nihongo, but they also got really, how to say, exhausted from it, because it was always the same routine each day. But Genki gave us, it gives more exercises which are productive, where you can do free speaking, make dialects, work in pairs. So it's good, it's great for group study Japanese. By yourself, maybe a bit lonely, because there will be make a dialogue, please do, like, it's really like communicative approach, and it has good vocabulary, which is more, how to say, more used in real life. Though in Mina no Nihongo it's also used in real life, but here in Genki you will find a lot of very interesting expressions, which you will not find in Mina no Nihongo. Okay, and one of the series of textbooks for beginners is Marugoto. But also it actually has some intermediate textbooks. These are intermediate or even pre-intermediate. One is pre-intermediate. And all the others are for beginner level, and they are not bad, but they are more, I think, for work with children, with teenagers. It has a lot of pictures, but the positive moment about this textbook, that it uses rather colloquial expressions of Japanese. And it doesn't have enough grammar exercises, and it's not really good to practice grammar. But this is good for like learn and have fun and have like more like impressions from learning, like more light learning. But I wouldn't say so about intermediate part of this series, because it has a lot of listening. Actually, this series has a lot of listening, and it's listening-based textbook, because so many exercises will need you to listen to, and that is really great. For some reasons, it's also really great. Okay, for reading, I would use Tanoshiku Yomo for beginner levels. Really interesting texts present there. Also, I wouldn't overlook this series, which may be found easily in Japan, but I don't know how is it overseas. So it's Reboru Betsu Nihongo Tadoku Library. So it's a great series of texts, from really easy ones, from like level 0 to I think level 4, but I'm not sure. Perhaps they have even more like levels, but I could find up to fourth level. And I remember I actually was using one of the fourth level such textbooks. It's not textbook, but it consists of separate small books which with stories. For example, here is the story about Nagai Takashi. It's about atomic bombing of Nagasaki, and it was really interesting, and I could memorize this because of this series of stories used for reading. And it was never mentioned in any textbook of Japanese I was studying. Okay. And the next really good textbook is Basic Grammar of Japanese, Understanding Basic Japanese Grammar by Koichi Nishiguchi. If you actually, this is learning grammar through dialects. So you can learn by yourself. You just read the dialects, and it represents you the use or the grammar in use, how it is used. And I would say this textbook influenced me really much because it actually completed the moments which were not told in Minna no Nihongo or Genki or any other textbook, but it explained a lot. And it explains the basic grammar important to move on to go to intermediate studies. And also a really good series of Mainichi no Kikitori. So it's listening. Here we can see to the left, it's for beginner. And to the right, it's for intermediate level or pre-intermediate. And it's rather good because it will help your listening skills, and it has really interesting text inside, interesting listening topics. And this series also helped me so much. This series is Yowai Anata e. For example, Bunpo ga Yowai Anata e. For you who is weak in grammar, Chokai ga Yowai Anata e. For you who is weak in listening, for you who is weak in reading, Dokkai o hajimeru anata e, and Kanji goi ga yowai anata e. So this series really is really good for actually to do it after Minna no Nihongo and after Genki, because it will help you to actually to compare different grammar structures in use, for example, for grammar. And for text, it will give you a lot of interesting expressions which you didn't get there. And listening also will help you. Actually, I didn't use this one. I've never used this one about kanji, goi, words and kanjis, vocabulary in kanji. But I suppose this must be also really good. And when you go to pre-intermediate level, the best textbooks are Chukyu e Iko and Chukyu o Manabo. This series of textbooks are really great to be able to step into and actually this is where the real Japanese begins, because everything was not so serious back then. And from here, you will understand that what is real Japanese. You will start understanding it, and you will progress a lot with these textbooks. And entering intermediate, actually Marugoto series is a little bit, how to say, it's not so difficult. It's not so, how to say, it's intermediate level, but it's a bit of pre-intermediate somehow. But it will give you so many colloquial expressions, and especially second part. So I'm showing here, it's the second part of intermediate textbook. I'm using it now with my student, and it's really great. It also has a lot of listening, but it also has a lot of text, a lot of expressions which are used in colloquial and real Japanese. So I want to praise this one. I think I'm in love with this one. And a rare textbook which is used only in some language schools and really difficult to find. But I knew it only because I was the student who studied this. On the left, it's old version. Its old version was orange color, and it also has different supplementary textbooks like kanji grammar, main textbook kanji grammar, and some exercises or something like this. And it's really great. It was really amazing, but it's really hard to find. Now you can easier find this one to the right. This one is the new version, but it's somehow if it's without workbook, it will lack exercises. So I'm concerned if it has a workbook, if it's easy to find this workbook, and I don't think it's so. So the next one is for intermediate level is Bunkachiku Nihongo. I was using this also to study intermediate level. It's colorful, it has pictures, and it has really good grammar structures, really good exercises, and some even like group work or some creative work. It's good. I can praise it. And also one of my favorite textbooks of intermediate level is this one. Though it doesn't teach you grammar constructions, though you will find them. It has a lot of colloquial Japanese in it, but it has really useful phrases in it, and expressions, words and expressions. Okay, and for kanji, I love this basic kanji book and intermediate kanji book series, and Tobira. I actually really like this. To the middle is 800 of kanji, and this textbook is really nice for studying kanji. It will give you exercises, it will give you explanation of radicals. It's really good. And for advanced Japanese level, though I'm not sure, these textbooks actually don't so much explain or don't so much give the grammar explanations, but they have texts. And for work with advanced level texts, these two were really good for me and helped me to achieve high level. And some of additional textbooks I liked was Chibi Maruko-chan Kyoshitsu, is Proverbs and Yojijuku Go. Really nice series. It has a lot of actually different other textbooks. And also to mention, to actually pass N1, you cannot pass it without specialized textbooks for JLPT test, because all of those structures, you can actually sometimes hardly find them. Even some newspapers, they don't include such structures like here. And one level is really challenging even for native speakers. That's why I advise you to use specialized textbooks when you study for JLPT test N2 and N1. It's really very important. And I remember I actually used this one. I actually used all of them. Yeah, Speedomaster, Shinkansen Master. They have the series of vocabulary, grammar, kanji, and the Taigo Kaku is for like some tests, for example. Okay, so I'm finishing now. Thank you for coming to my webinar, and now you can ask questions.